The stars around Zealand 7 were quiet. The planet below was lifeless, just gray rock and old ruins. Nothing moved. No signal came from its surface. But above it, in the deep black of space, something deadly had formed. An alien ship long in silver, shaped like a blade, drifted slowly through the orbit of the planet. It was not a warship. It was a science ship from the peaceful Mirak people. They were explorers, not fighters. Inside the ship, Commander Doran stood on the bridge, his blue eyes fixed on the blinking lights of the sensor panel. Around him, his crew worked quickly. Fear was on every face. "They're surrounding us," said Lena, the navigation officer. 4 ships on the left, 3 on the right, and 2 more behind. Doran's jaw tightened. That's 10 in. Total. No IDs, no responses to hails. "They're hunters," said Tellin, the weapons tech. "Their ships are fast. Light armor, heavy plasma cannons. We can't outrun them." "We have no weapons," Lena added softly. Doran nodded. "I know." There was silence for a moment. Outside the window, the dark shapes of the hunter ships moved closer. They weren't attacking yet, but they didn't have to. They had formed a perfect circle around the Mirak ship. A trap in space. A cage. Doran took a breath. He had been in dangerous situations before, but never like this. These hunter ships weren't pirates. They weren't raiders. They were something worse. Professional. They wanted to scare them, break them, capture them alive, send a distress signal. Doran said, "Full spectrum. Maybe someone will hear us." "I already did, sir," said Lena. "It's been repeating." "For the last 20 minutes. No answer." "Keep trying," Doran said, though he knew the truth. No one was coming. The Mirak ship began drifting slowly as its engines lowered power. There was no point running. They had nowhere to go. The crew grew quiet. Some prayed in their native tongue. Others sat frozen, staring at the ships outside. The circle grew tighter, the hunters creeping forward like sharks. And then, a signal. Blinked. Not from the hunters. Not from the Mirak ship. It was something else. Faint. Strange. Lena leaned forward. "There's another ship. Far edge of the system. It just jumped in." "Show me," Doran ordered. The screen lit up, showing a small dot near the edge of the asteroid belt. It was far. Too far to help. "What kind of ship?" he asked. Lena frowned. "Unknown." "Wait, no. It's human. Terran made." That made everyone on the bridge turn. "Humans?" Tellin said. "Here?" Doran narrowed his eyes. "Zoom in." The screen showed a small, dark gray vessel. It had sharp wings, like a bird of prey. One engine glowed red. Its hull looked old but powerful. And on its side was a faded symbol, an eagle holding a lightning bolt. "A Terran ship," Doran said quietly. "What is it doing here?" Lena asked. "Maybe it's just passing through," Tellin said. "They're Deathworlders. They don't help strangers." But before anyone could answer, the Terran ship changed direction. It was coming toward them. Fast. Outside, the hunter ships also noticed the signal. They stopped moving. Their formations shifted slightly. A message flashed across all channels. "This is Hunter Fleet Vex 9. This is our capture. Leave the system or be destroyed." The Terran ship did not reply. Instead, it powered up. A hum echoed through the Mirak ship's sensors. Weapon systems activated. Energy surged around the Terran ship like fire wrapping a blade. "What is it doing?" Lena asked in shock. "Charging." "Something," Tellin said. "It's not running." Doran stood still, watching the screen. "It's preparing to fight." The room fell silent. A single Terran ship against 10 hunters? Impossible. Suicide. But the human didn't slow down. It moved faster, heading straight toward the trap. Doran leaned forward. Open a line to that ship. I'm trying, Lena said. But they're not accepting calls. Send a message anyway. Tell them who we are. Tell them we're peaceful. I already did. No reply. The Terran ship was now closer. Too close. Impact in. 20 seconds, Terran said nervously. They'll be caught in the Hunter crossfire. And then something strange happened. The Terran ship vanished. One moment it was there, the next gone. Where did it go? Doran shouted. Scanning. It didn't jump, Lena said. It used a stealth drive. It's inside the Hunter circle. What? Doran stepped back. Inside the trap? Before anyone could speak again, the screen lit up with flashes. One Hunter ship exploded. Then another. Quick. Precise. Like surgical strikes. The Terran ship had reappeared right in the heart of the enemy, and it was tearing them apart. Doran stood frozen, his eyes locked on the screen. One moment, the human ship was surrounded. The next, it was inside the Hunter fleet, striking like a ghost. 2 Hunter ships had already been destroyed. No warning, no mercy. The rest began to shift and panic, breaking their perfect circle. Is this really happening? Lena whispered. Track that human ship, Doran ordered. We need to see every move. The alien science vessel had no weapons, but it had sensors, powerful ones. And right now, it was witnessing something no Mirak had ever seen. A human ship dancing through death. The screen showed flashes of light. The Terran vessel was moving faster than anything they'd ever scanned, dodging plasma bolts, firing small concentrated beams, targeting weak points in enemy shields. It was like the pilot knew exactly where to hit. Talon gasped. That's not a normal warship. That's something else. It's modified, Doran said. Look at the movement. No computer could do that. That's manual piloting. Lena looked up. A single human is doing all this? Looks like it, Doran said softly. Suddenly, an incoming transmission blinked onto the screen. Open channel unknown encryption. It's from the Terran ship, Lena shouted. Put it through. The screen flickered. Then came a voice call, cold and strangely gentle. To the alien vessel in orbit, I received your distress signal. My name is Mara. Stay silent. Stay out of the way. I'll clear the path. The message ended as quickly as it came. Silence filled the bridge. Doran stared at the screen. She came just for us? Impossible, Talon muttered. Terrans don't do rescues. Not like this. She heard our call, Lena said, and she came. Doran turned toward the comms console. Broadcast this on all channels. We are not your enemy. We are peaceful. This is a science vessel. Do not harm us. The message repeated over and over. But the Hunter fleet ignored it. Instead, they focused everything on Mara. She had become the center of their fear. 8 ships now swarmed her position. They opened fire from all angles, creating a deadly web of red plasma. But Mara didn't run. She charged. The Terran ship spun through the middle, releasing countermeasures, mini-drones, and flares. The Hunter ship's weapons missed wildly. Her own blasts landed dead center-breaking armor, blowing engines, disabling guidance systems. Lena gasped. She's not just fighting. She's performing. She's controlling the battlefield. Like an artist, Talon whispered. As more Hunter ships fell, Doran leaned toward the sensor console. Open a secure log. Start recording everything. Why? Lena asked. Because no one will believe this unless we have proof, Doran sighed. 1 human ship against a fleet and winning. He paused. No, not just winning. Teaching them fear. The alien ship shook slightly nearby. Explosions from disabled Hunter wreckage. The circle was breaking apart. Mara had split the formation. The enemy ships, once cold and confident, were now chaotic. Their perfect trap had turned into a graveyard. Science vessel's crew watched in silent awe. And then another signal blinked. Mara again. You have a 5-minute window. Get out. I'll cover your exit. Doran blinked. She's giving us an opening? Plot a course, he ordered. Fastest line away from the battle zone. Don't wait. Lena nodded and set the path. Tellen looked hesitant. We're just going to leave her here? Doran stared at the screen, at the Terran ship burning through enemy lines like a blade of fire. She knows what she's doing, he said. And I won't waste her gift. As the Mirac ship began to move, engines shaking, the crew looked out their windows one last time. The last thing they saw was Mara's ship diving headfirst into the heart of the remaining hunter ships. A bright red glow forming at its core. A secret weapon? A final strike? They didn't know, but one thing was clear. The hunters had become the hunted dot as the Mirac ship jumped to warp. Doran looked down at the transmission logs. He saved the voice clip from Mara and locked it into the Galactic records. He would make sure the stars heard it. Stay silent. Stay out of the way. I'll clear the path. The stars stretched and twisted as the Mirac science ship exited warp space. Calm had returned, but not peace. Doran stood silently on the bridge, watching the view outside. The stars were normal here. No hunter ships. No fire, no danger. In his mind, one image kept repeating. The human ship, glowing red, charging alone into a storm of enemies. Behind him, Lena broke the silence. We're clear, Commander. No ships on the scanners. Good, Doran replied. Any word from the Terran ship? No, sir, she said quietly. No signal. No warp trail. It's like she vanished. Doran frowned. She saved us, and she never asked for thanks. Tellen turned in his chair. Commander, we should send a report to the Council. Doran nodded. Not just a report. A warning. The galaxy needs to know what just happened. He walked toward the console, opened the comms, and began recording. To all peaceful peoples of the stars. This is Commander Doran of the Mirac vessel Alari. We were trapped by a hunter fleet above the dead. World Xylan 7. 10 ships surrounded us. We had no weapons, no allies, no way out. Then a Terran ship appeared. Alone, silent. It entered the trap knot. To run, but to destroy. This was not a standard warship. This was something else. Something alive. Its pilot, a human who called herself Mara, turned the hunters into wreckage. We escaped because of her. And now I ask, who is she? And how many more like her watching from the dark? He ended the message and sent it into the interstellar archive, marked high priority. Back on the bridge, Lena called out again. Commander, I think you should see this. She tapped her console. A hologram popped up. What is it? Doran asked. It's a sensor ghost. From our long-range array. Look at the shape. Doran squinted. The blurry image wasn't clear, but its outline was familiar. Wings like blades. Twin engines. The same glowing red core dot. It was the Terran ship. Mara's ship. But it wasn't near Xylan 7 anymore. It was on the move fast heading into unknown space. Alone. How is that possible? Tellen asked. She fought 10 hunter ships. That ship should be damaged, Lena nodded. Exactly. But it's not slowing down. If anything, it's faster. Doran leaned closer. Zoom in. As the hologram enhanced, they noticed something even more strange. A shimmering field surrounded the ship. Not a regular shield. Something different. It looked like waves rippling energy. It's like her ship is hiding from the galaxy itself, Lena whispered. Even our best scanners barely caught it. Tellen frowned. Who builds ships like that? Doran spoke softly. Humans. They Mirak had always seen humans as dangerous but distant. Deathworlders, isolated, quiet. They rarely joined alliances. They never shared their secrets. And when they did appear, they left stories behind. Fear, power, mystery. But Mara's ship was something else entirely. This wasn't a rescue mission, Doran said aloud. This was something personal. You think she was looking for the hunters? Talon asked. No, Doran said. I think the hunters were looking for her. The crew fell quiet again. A cold realization settled in the room. Mara hadn't come to save them. She came to fight. And they had just been in the way. But instead of ignoring them, she chose to help. Doran spoke again. Maybe humans aren't what we thought. Lena nodded slowly. Maybe they're more than just warriors. Maybe they're protectors. Outside, the stars glittered softly dot, and far away, in the deep silence of space, the Terran ship kept. Moving, leading behind only questions and fear in the hearts of anyone who had watched it fight. Asterisk. Far beyond Xylan 7, deep in a forgotten sector of space, silence reigned once more, but not for long. In a shattered debris field where once the Hunter Fleet Vex 9 held control, wreckage now floated aimlessly burned hulls, twisted metal, and drifting escape pods. Every ship in the formation had been either destroyed, disabled, or disappeared, and at the center of it all was Mara's ship, the lone Terran vessel. It drifted quietly, hidden under cloaking fields, almost like a shadow wrapped in steel. Inside. Mara sat alone. Her ship was dark. Only the soft red lights from her control panel lit her face. Calm, focused, unafraid. She pressed a switch, and the ship's AI responded. Status: enemy fleet eliminated. One escape pod ejected. Survivors: minimal. Mara stared at the screen, reading the sensor logs. Her voice was low. Send message. Galactic emergency band. Begin recording. The AI blinked. Ready? Mara leaned in, her voice cold yet powerful. To any Hunter fleet operating in Sector 12, you are not unseen. You are not safe. You took lives that weren't yours. You trapped the innocent. And now, you're being watched. This is your warning. Next time, I won't leave anything behind. She ended the message. The ship's AI paused, then said, Warning, this message will trigger galactic reaction. Mara smiled faintly. That's the point. She pressed send. Back on the Mirak science ship Ilari. The message arrived hours later. Didn't come through normal channels. It forced its way in. Lena almost fell out of her chair when her console lit up. Commander Doran, she yelled. It's her again. The human. Doran stood up fast. What is it? Audio message? Full broadcast. She sent it galaxy-wide. The crew gathered around as the voice played. You are not unseen. You are not safe. Each word echoed through the ship. Calm, steady, terrifying. Doran's hands tightened. It wasn't just a warning, it was a declaration. And it wasn't just meant for the hunters. It was meant for everyone. Commander. Talon spoke softly. This isn't a normal human. This is something else. Lena nodded. She knew. We were in danger. She came without asking for anything. And now she's speaking to the stars. Doran stayed quiet for a moment, then finally said, She's not speaking for herself. He looked at them. She's speaking for humanity. Hours passed, and across space, governments, outposts, and even pirate dens replayed that same voice. Some laughed. Some grew angry, but many felt something they hadn't felt in years. Fear, not fear of war, fear of being watched out of someone out there. Silent, deadly, choosing when to strike, and that someone wore the face of a human. Meanwhile, in a small station near the Tridax cluster, a hooded figure listened to the message in full. A commander, of another hunter fleet. He clenched his fists as Mara's voice ended. "She's real," he muttered. A second figure stepped forward, whispering, "You said she was just a story." "She was, until now. What do we do?" The commander looked at the stars and replied, "We run." Back on the Alari, Duran stood in his quarters, staring at the glowing screen showing Mara's ship location, still moving fast. Disappearing into deep space, he whispered to himself. She saved us, then vanished, but her voice, it stayed. Behind, he walked back to the bridge and made a decision. Prepare a new mission log, he told Lena. Title it, First Contact Human Intervention at Silent 7. Tellen raised a brow. You think she'd do this again? Doran nodded. Double quotes, no. I think she already has many times. We were just the first to survive and tell the tale. Outside the window, the stars sparkled quietly. But now, the galaxy was listening, and far. Away, one Terran ship drifted across the stars alone, watching, waiting, protecting. Asterisk. The wreckage of Vex 9's hunter fleet floated cold and silent in orbit above. Zealand 7. What once was a deadly circle of warships was now a graveyard. In the middle of it, all Mara's ship waited. Systems were stable. Weapons were recharged. Ship's outer hull shimmered again with its cloaking veil. From a distance, it looked like nothing was there. But inside? Mara watched. And she wasn't done. Her ship's AI blinked. Long-range scans. Movement detected. 4 hunter vessels approaching from deep space. Mara didn't react. Her fingers moved across the controls, switching between tactical displays. Engines? She asked calmly. Online. Weapons calibrated. Shield core at 87%. Good. She said, let's finish what they started. Meanwhile, aboard the Mirac science vessel Alari, Doran stood in front of the main star map. All around him, crew members quietly worked, but everyone was watching the same blinking dot on the eye. Screen Mara's ship. She's still near Island 7, Lena said. Not retreating, not resting. She's waiting, Doran replied. Or baiting. Tellen stepped closer. But more hunters are coming. 4 more ships. She knows, Doran said. She's ready. On Mara's ship, the Hunter. Fleet finally arrived. These weren't scouts. These were Heavy's reinforced hulls, war cannons, armor plating, designed to fight entire rebel colonies. Their leaders believed she'd be too damaged, too slow after her last battle. They were. Wrong. Mara powered forward before they could even finish forming up. Her ship dove through the wreckage field, using it like a maze. She disappeared behind a spinning chunk of debris, then reappeared on the flank of the lead vessel. One shot. Straight through the engine core. The first hunter ship exploded into blue fire. The second ship panicked, turned too fast, and hit a drifting husk from the earlier battle. Its shield sparked. Mara fired again right at the weak spot. It broke in two. Back on Alari, the crew watched in stunned silence. She's not just fighting them, Tellen said slowly. She's studying them, Doran nodded. She's dissecting them like a surgeon. Every move has purpose. Lena's hands trembled over the console. Why aren't we helping her? Because she doesn't need help, Doran answered. And because we just get in the way. The third hunter ship tried to run. It turned sharply and began spooling its FTL drive, but Mara's ship surged ahead like a predator smelling weakness. She activated a different weapon this time, a slow, humming pulse that disrupted the warp. Field. The fleeing ship twisted violently and tore itself apart mid-jump. One ship left. It turned toward Mara in a desperate charge, guns blazing, but instead of dodging, Mara stopped. Completely still, the hunter ship's weapons hit her shields, which flared but didn't break. Then, Her ship spoke, not with guns, but with sound. A low hum spread across frequencies. The last hunter vessel's comm systems froze. Its sensors blinked out. Lights inside flickered. Then, silence. And Mara's ship moved forward slowly. Terrifyingly slow. The hunter ship turned to escape. But it was too late. A bright white beam cut across the side like a blade, melting metal. The hunter ship cracked and exploded. Inside Mara's cockpit, the AI announced, all targets eliminated. System clear. Mara leaned back. She closed her eyes. And the circle is broken, she whispered. Aboard Ilari, Doran watched the final red blip vanish. Lena turned to him. What do we do now, sir? Doran replied, we spread the message. Every world, every colony, every station must know. The hunters aren't invincible. Not anymore, Talon added. And the humans? What are they? Doran answered softly, they are what we hoped they'd never been more prepared than we imagined. Later, that cycle, as Ilari returned to safe territory, a special file was uploaded to the Galactic Records Hub. It was tagged Incident Island 7, Human, Intervention Code Red. Attached was the footage of Mara's ship breaking the hunter circle, destroying 12 warships, and leaving without a scratch. The final frame of the report showed a message left behind in binary, quietly pulsing on one of the destroyed hunter vessel's black boxes. Translated, it said, you trapped them. But I was watching. Maj. Asterisk, in a hidden sector far from any star, a shadow fleet gathered in silence. Inside the lead command vessel of the Hunter Coalition, a meeting took place. 12 captains, cloaked in darkness, watched the hologram before them, a replay of Mara's. Assault at Xylan-7. They said nothing. The footage spoke louder than words. A single human ship had dismantled their elite formation, not just with weapons, but with tactics, speed, and something far more terrifying. Control. One captain finally broke the silence. This can't be a normal Terran. Another responded, no human should be able to do this alone. She didn't just kill our fleet, a third growled. She left a message, a warning. They turned to their high strategist, a pale figure with silver markings across his face. His eyes narrowed. It was not just a message. It was a challenge. Back on the Ilari, the Mirak science vessel drifted near a communication relay in safe space. Commander Doran stood at the central console, speaking directly with his homeworld's defense council. The council members, stern, calm, logical, watched him from their screens. You're sure this Terran acted alone? One of them asked. Yes, Doran replied. No backup. No call for aid. She answered our signal, and she saved us. Another council member leaned forward. What does she want? Doran paused, then said, nothing. She never asked for thanks. She didn't even stay to speak. She destroyed the threat and vanished. The council fell silent. That was the part that unsettled them the most. Later, in the crew lounge, Lena sat beside a large viewing window. Stars drifted lazily outside. She sipped a warm drink, trying to calm her nerves. Across from her, Talon spoke quietly. Have you ever heard of the Black Watch? Lena shook her head. No. What is it? It's just a story, he said. Old. Terran myth. A secret human force elite pilots, agents, ghosts. They don't serve governments. They serve something else. Balance. Justice or revenge. Lena frowned. You think Mara's part of that? I don't know, Talon admitted. But if she is, then the galaxy isn't ready. They sat in silence for a while. Then Lena whispered, do you think the hunters are afraid now? Talon didn't. Smile. I think they finally understand what fear is. And they did dot in dark corners of the galaxy where the hunter fleets once held power. Things were changing. Some ships stopped responding to commands. Others began retreating from patrol. Zones they once ruled. Whispers spread. The story of a lone human one who could appear from nowhere, destroy without mercy, and disappear into silence, was passed from crew to crew, from pirate dens to criminal hubs. No image existed of her face. No one could confirm her identity. But every hunter ship that received the emergency broadcast recognized one word carved deep into the message header. Mara? And Mara? She was already gone. Her ship now floated inside a gas cloud, silent and cold. Hidden inside the cockpit, she sat in silence, watching dozens of data feeds, encrypted messages, pirate chatter, secret transmissions from worlds the hunters had heard. She marked them, one by one, each location, each name. She wasn't chasing fame or glory. She was chasing something else. Balance. A new alert flashed. Hunter fleet fragment. 5 ships, orbiting planet Carvis IXRIs, narrowed. Another trap. Another helpless world. Another chance to end the circle before it began. She spoke just one word. Go. Back in the Mirak territories, Doran received one last transmission before sleep. It was a text-only message. No signature. No signal source. No encryption trail. Just 5 words. Next circle. I'll break it. He stared at the message, breath caught in his chest. She wasn't finished. She was hunting the hunters. Asterisk. Carvis X was a green world, peaceful, beautiful, and completely defenseless. Above it now, 5 hunter warships formed a perfect ring in orbit. The same pattern they used at Silent 7. A silent circle of doom. On the ground, families hid inside. Mountain tunnels. Farmers clutched basic weapons. No one could fight back. No one. Except the ghost. High above the clouds, invisible to sensors, Mara's ship watched. She had already marked the pattern. Already seen the shield weaknesses. Already heard the terrified distress signals from the planet. 5 ships, the AI whispered. Same class, same formation. Mara stared at the screen. Same mistake. She dove without warning. No announcement. No warning shot. The first hunter ship didn't even have time to activate shields. Single strike from Mara's pulse cannon hit the reactor core. Instant destruction. The others scrambled. Too late. By the time they realized what was happening, the second ship was already spinning. Engines destroyed. Drifting toward the planet like a falling star. The leader of the fleet barked orders. Across every channel. Identify the attacker. All ships converge. But they couldn't find her. She didn't appear on scans. She was already inside the circle. From the planet's surface, the people of Carvis X looked up at the sky. Where they expected death, they saw flashes of light, beautiful, bright, terrifying. And one ship. One small, silent ship. Cutting through war machines like they were paper. Children clung to their parents. Elders whispered prayers. Someone asked, "Who is that?" No one answered. But one old woman, standing near the village signal tower, whispered a name one she'd only heard once in an old traveler's tale. Mara. In space, the last 2 hunter ships fired everything they had. Plasma beams. Missiles. SCRAMBLERS. Mara didn't flinch. She activated Shroud Protocol. Her ship shimmered and seemed to split 3 ghost images of her vessel. Danced through the air. Confusing sensors. Overwhelming target locks. One hunter ship panicked and fired at the wrong copy. Boom. Self-damage. Shields. Down. Mara fired the final shot herself. One blast. One cut. Another explosion. The 5th ship turned to flee. Mara let it go. Just for 5 seconds. Then she opened a channel. Her voice was quiet. Cold. Final. You circled them like prey. Now you run like one. She disabled the final ships. Engines not to destroy it, but to leave a message. Back on the Mirax science vessel Elari, Doron received a second secure log footage from Carbus IX. Same tactic. Same outcome. Same ship. But this time, something new appeared at the end of the data stream. A single photo, blurry, taken from the ground, but clear enough to see. A human woman in a sleek dark pilot suit, walking away from a burning hunter wreck. Her helmet under one arm. Her face unreadable. Behind her, the words carved into the metal hull of a hunter ship in Galactic Standard. No more circles. That image spread across the galaxy. Faster than news. Faster than truth. It became legend. Some said she was a rogue. Soldier. Others believed she was a weapon. But one thing was agreed by all where hunter fleets once ruled. They were now afraid to gather. Because no one wanted to be part of the next circle. As for Mara, she disappeared again. No warp trail. No signals. No known destination. The Terran ambassador was contacted. When asked about her, he only said, "You think Earth sends her? You think we control her?" He leaned in and added, "She doesn't serve humanity. She protects it, in her own way." Years passed, hunter fleets shrank. Mara's name became a myth, but in quiet systems, where the weak still sent desperate signals for help. Sometimes a single ship would arrive, silent, fast, precise, and when it did, the hunters always ran. Final. Message logged in the Galactic Archive. "We thought no one would come. We thought we were surrounded. But one human came, and the circle was broken. Commander Doron, Elari *.